Hey, welcome to my video. I'm Jennifer Roberts. Excuse the background noise, the boys are playing and I've got a rabbit that's grunting at my feet. So this is the daily energy reading where I combine the energies and the tarot to bring you a narrative of the day to help guide you with the energies you may feel within you, around you and within others. Take what resonates as it is general and leave what does not. I appreciate any of the comments, any sharing, any subscribing. That opens me up. The closer I get to 1,000, it opens me up to be able to do more on the go with the phone and other things. Now, as far as it being general, do just take what resonates. But we have been over the last year, 18 months, going through very collective energies, and we all do to a certain extent anyway, all of the time anyway. But this has been a very intensified time, a very condensed time. Is condensive a word? Condensed time of energies where it's all pushed in together and it's all a bit foggy, but you know, many of us are going through exactly the same things, emotions at the same time, because that is what the plan is. And so for the 4th of March 2021, let's go and we'll do the bottom of the decks first. So we've got the Ace of Pentacles on the bottom of the first deck. This is good. This is really good because it is showing that there is this opportunity within individuals' lives and within the collective still to be able to make a reality that is of abundance, that is of ability to sustain, ability to be comfortable. And there's new ways that are cropping up, or new ideas, or just new focus that is available to you if you look for it, in order to create this very much, in many cases, needed abundance and sustainability. But it also speaks to me about what has been stolen and what is being stolen. And that is what I feel is the birthright for people to come here and be in comfortable balance in order to experience the vast array of emotions, physical experiences, mental challenging experiences, learning, expanding and growing without the brutality of thieves ruling the world. Yes, I think there's always going to be a level of duality in this particular realm, but there's this energy from me that is screaming through to say, but not like this. This is not how it was way back, before certain events seemed to have occurred. And so this is a promise that you can fulfill for yourself and make to yourself, but we are going to have to make changes, and we are going to have to make a noise to be able to do so. We've got the Six of Cups, on the bottom of the other deck. Now this speaks, you can see it's got the stone wall. So there's certain emotional walls built up. For me, I don't always pick up on that wall, but there's certain emotional walls built up, barriers to certain aspects of the past that you're emotionally connected to, that maybe you don't either want to look at with a clear lens, or you're looking at it with rose-colored glasses, because maybe it is a little bit painful, or a lot painful, to be able to delve back into, to unpick that emotional cord or connection to something that is maybe challenging a lot of you regarding your ability to create abundance, and also your feeling like you are worthy of it, which you are. And it's this certain wall that's been built up in various different aspects for many people, that is indoctrinated, challenging to the narrative of that you're worthy of an experience such as the Ace of Pentacles, that you're worthy of this abundance in your reality. And that wall, we build up these walls when we don't want to look at something honestly, or we don't want to look at anything at all. And you can see that the cups are balanced on that wall, and there's different levels on the wall too. And so there's certain things that maybe are easier for some of you to revisit and look at and even use for your benefit in the now, in the present. And then there are certain things that are even higher up. We have more importance to them, and so they are happily revisited, or it's a very ingrained emotional cord of that reflects on the idea of abundance, the viability of you having abundance, and the availability of abundance to you in your life. To break through this wall, it would stand to reason that a lot of these cups, or some of these cups, would fall down, would knock down. And when we build up these barriers, these walls to our emotions, we get stagnant in them, the water stops flowing. And so that's the frightening aspect for some of you today, to break down this wall and ultimately lose an emotional cord or connection that you know is damaging to your present and your future, but it's too much to ask for you as you see it. It's not you're totally able to do it, but it's too much to ask for you as you see it, to break down this wall and let go of this. There's this deep-seated connection here. And for some of you, it is a reflection back to the past of those pleasant times, and the ways and means that others did it before you, or the teachings that you've had that you're emotionally connected to, the same way you would be if it's your grandmother or your mother or your grandfather or your dad that has taught you certain skills. So you have the skill set of the physical reality, the abundance that can be created from it, but it's connected to pleasant, or for some unpleasant, but more predominantly on this case, pleasant emotional ties. There's an even greater value in it because that teaching, that knowledge has come from somebody who you are truly emotionally connected to. And so it gives you ideas, and that's good. But as far as for the predominant reading, and that will connect with more people, it is that we are looking at something through rose-colored glasses, or refusing to look at something at all that we are emotionally connected to, that is actually blocking with this wall our key to the abundance. We're seeing it with blurred vision. And so the first card is the Moon card, Major Arcana. It hasn't been up too much, to be honest. And so you can see in this Major Arcana, the Moon. It's a difficult card because, you know, it can be very positive, but, you know, it's a real minefield. It really is about the middle ground, the balance ground. So you see, we've got the dog. It looks like two dogs on this one, but a dog and a wolf, or two dogs, one very docile, domesticated, trained, conditioned, the other being either the other dog or the shadow side of the dog, or the wolf, which is feral and untamed, wild. And so these two aspects of self. Now, rising up in the middle of that, or these two forces between you, and that pads out as we go along this middle path. This crawfish here in the water that is emerging from the water and is being, the path is being lit by the moonlight as to the path that it is supposed to follow. This has got to get through these two aspects here, the wild, feral, and the trained and docile. With this, we've got, 1 second, I'll pause this just for a second. Okay, I'm back. So we've got the crawfish that is emerging from the water, and it has this domesticated on one side dog, and this much more wild animal, either being another dog or a wolf on the other side. Now, it's being directed by the moon, just like the little turtles are, you know, they look for the moonlight. And so it's being directed down this path. But we look further into this path and we see that there's the two towers here on either side. Now these towers representing the external forces. Now one being an external force that is of a positive nature, an encouraging nature, and one being of a negative nature, a more oppressive or badly intent nature. So there's this real balance point on either side, and this crawfish you is walking this middle ground. Now it's a deceiving card, because even this card here, this is supposed to be nighttime. It's supposed to be not as bright as the sun card. Where the sun card is more yellow, there's a lot of yellow in this, but the sky is actually white. There's a lot of blue in this, which I'm busy, formulating a thought that keeps coming in visions, that keeps expanding about the blue. But it's supposed to be dark. And so this is where in this card we can sometimes fall into self-deception. This is where we can fall into fears or delusion, self-delusion, and being able to be deluded by others, where it looks, that it's night, that you're being led, pulled, just like the waves, the crawfish is being pulled by the moonlight into the direction of the path forward, but it isn't night. It is night, but it's not, because it looks like everything's real clear. It looks like that what this tower stands for, and what this tower stands for, what this dog stands for, and what this dog stands for. You're real confident on that, but actually it's a bit of delusion, because things are a lot more blurred, things are a lot more murky, whether that be from the external forces around you, or whether that be from your innate nature in yourself. There's deception here, there's delusion here. And so with the Three of Wands coming into play, this brings up for me that there are hidden truths, hidden barriers that you're emotionally connected to, if this resonates with you, with the Six of Cups on the bottom of the deck and Ace of Pentacles, that directly affects your self-worth, directly affects your path. Maybe you keep making plans and they just get off the ground, but then somehow, some way you're deceived and you go down the wrong path, or you deceive yourself and you sort of go down the wrong path and it just doesn't work as it should. There's something that is connected to the emotions that you could find the hidden truth of, and take yourself away from that cord, to remove yourself from that cord, to dissolve that cord, because the Three of Wands is ready to take action. It's, come out of the safe place of the Two of Wands, where things are embryonic, ideas and plans are very embryonic, very much at the start of the process. The Three of Wands, HEKATE-A, coming into ready to take action on those embryonic plans, ready to be able to go forward. Now, the Three of Wands usually is a pretty confident card. It's a card that is looking at the commitments to the plan, at the commitment to go forward with this plan, with passion, with drive, to take action on it. Now, under the moonlight, for a lot of you, this is going to be this fired up action, but are you deluded on what this path really does look like, and what the characters are in this moon card for you? The people around you, the plans that have been made either recently or way back when, it really was that person or persons really on board with that plan like you thought they were. In business, there's a lot of sabotage, a lot of deceit, a lot of maybe some deliberate steering of, yeah, you do that, you go, that's a really good idea, to steer, competition or somebody that wants you out of the way down the wrong road, and it looks like you would end up with, the pie on your face, or ultimately in more trouble. Now, whoever it is who is being concerned about a friend, a relative, a more adult child, just regarding some things that have been said, and your intuition, again, the moon card is much about intuition, and this middle path is about following your heart, your intuition. Now, you can only do that successfully when you haven't got these emotional cords that are damaging, affecting your middle ground and how you see yourself and what you see yourself being able to have in this lifetime. And so some people are having a lot of problems where this is generational, that wealth has either come around and just been taken or gone a few times, or whether just no matter how hard somebody works, no matter how much of a good person they've been throughout the generations of the family, they've either not gained that abundance or independence, or it's been taken, like I said. And this feels like this has been passed down emotionally for some people. And so this card here, being the intuition, would be the middle path, but you have to make sure your intuition is clear and that you're not listening to anxious voices from within, or voices that would steer you off course deliberately and not take action too quickly under the light of the moon. 1 second, I'll pause this. Yikes, mother in. So be careful is what I'm saying. There's something actually, and this hasn't come up, and I've used these cards a lot. Oops. There's something about this beautiful fungi here with these mushrooms on the tree growing. That was a little orb. There's some kind of almost like you're tripping. You're tripping. You know, you're envisioning one thing when everything in the reality is telling you it's another thing. What I was saying before Theodore came in was, if somebody has been picking up intuitively and just you don't even know why certain words have rang alarm bells in your mind about this person, you know, please get in touch with them today and tell them to not go ahead with what they are planning. It feels like they are desperate. It feels like maybe they've become a part of a group, and under the circumstances, people are wanting to take back control of their lives any which way, predominantly the wrong way. And so they're trying to stamp an authority on their own lives by taking actions. And it might be that this involves a robbery, or it involves something of that gravity. And there'll be the, what do you call it when somebody's later down the road, there'll be the patsy. Will be the patsy. Is that the right word? I hope it is. But there'll be that person who takes the fall, or is expected to, last in, first out kind of thing. I'm picking up male. So whoever that's for, you'll know who you are, and just take action on that. It might be actually that they've been taking things, antipsychotic type things, maybe, you know, off the market, that is making them trip, that is making them make decisions under what they feel like is totally clear sight, and it's absolute self-delusion and illusion. And so we've got the Queen of Cups as the next card. And so one, for what I've just said, it might be best delivered from a mother's mouth, but also no, actually, if there's a father involved or an uncle, it might be best delivered by both together at the same time. So we've got the King of Swords clarifying the Queen of Cups. Now, the Queen of Cups is all about intuition. She's all about following that intuitive heart, and she is balanced. She is compassionate, but she is emotionally intelligent. And so she gives her emotions and gives time to things that her emotions call her to do, but she's not silly with that. She's a queen. She's refined and graceful with that, and does not empty her well into things that aren't viable that aren't good for the flow of emotions, that aren't good for the flow of compassion. So if these two cards resonate with you in any way, it may feel that you are you feel detached from a mother-like figure, a mother-like energy, like you don't feel that you can, it's almost like you don't feel that she'll understand you if you try and explain it. You feel blocked off. That wall is put up to that feminine energy in your life that you feel like you want to reach out to and try and talk things and work things out with, what your next plans are, what your next steps are. But there's either that she'll be disappointed or worried about these actions you plan to take, or she's part of this wall that you still have up. So whether she is as balanced as she is, you see it in a very different light, looking in the past in a very different lens. I can tell you, if this resonates with you, we all grow and we all expand. We all have the opportunity to anyway. And this energy feels like she's learned a lot of lessons from being a young mother to the mother that she is now, and has a lot more wisdom regarding how to manage her emotional cup and how to be much more balanced with her compassion, with her emotions, with her advice, with her motherly advice. It's much about water because this is connected to this moon energy also. And so it may be that you feel she's too much of a dreamer for the reality that you're facing and the plans that you're trying to take to get out of that reality. So it's a difficult one because it's just not matching up. As far as you yourself, introducing yourself as the Queen of Cups, male or female, because we've got a representation of the divine feminine and divine masculine here. This would be where you truly are not afraid of your emotions, and you really do take the time, as if you would take the time on anything else, business, major life decisions. You would do certain steps that work. Well, spending time with self and being brave enough that your emotions aren't going to drown you. It may feel like it, but once you start digging in and truthfully looking at the past and are able to release these emotional cords, you, as the Queen of Cups, very much clearly then can be this crawfish emerging from the water, and the third eye, the sight is seen. This is the psychic, intuitive queen. And so this is where you would really engage and be able to see things as they are. You'll be able to see which side is which, where the danger lies, where the actual middle ground is, and be able to face your wild, untamed side as well as your conditioned domestic side, neither good nor bad, neither evil or angelic, for want of a better word, for sure. To be able to see all aspects of self and be able to be loving and compassionate within that, as well as emotionally honest with yourself. This is a key step to be able to see the path forward for whatever plans you have ahead, to not be tricked and deceived, but to also feel confident in your decision making and on the path that you're going on. It doesn't feel like it's a quick fix, but it means once you start this, you start making these decisions, you'll start to see how things start to roll out in a very different way, releasing yourself from whatever emotional tie that blocked you from this, allowing you to be able to truly get to grips with your path and using it just as you would stocks and shares advice from a stock market expert. You would take their advice because you would think, well, damn, they're pretty proven. Well, I can tell you I'm pretty proven on my craft. Whoever is a customer of mine or a returning customer, the people here, I do things accurately enough that they see results once they start, you know, using their own inner force and doing these steps, just as you would do the steps as a stock market expert would tell you to do. The effect is very quick. And so we've got the King of Swords coming in after that, and that speaks of the authority coming in. So where you're engaging with your divine feminine, you also have this balance of the divine masculine and this super authoritarian, but very level-headed, very intelligent, very full of wisdom character coming in. For me, a lot of you, this will be the balance of the divine feminine and divine masculine, as well as the person or persons that I was speaking of the Queen of Cups being a mother. You actually engaging with your divinities within will actually really aid that relationship to be actually one of the most awesome relationships you could ever have. People change so dramatically through their lives when they grow, and often people who we maybe love but butted heads with in the past, now if we could release those cords from the past, we would see that actually in our physical reality now they are a hoot, they are our best friends, they are partners in crime. You know, it's a different relationship if you allow it to be. Now, as far as speaking to that person who you care about, who you've had this intuitive spark of what are they planning, who are they running with right now, what are they tripping about, really do, you know, engage with either the balance of a physical male, physical female, you know, drawing attention to the fact that you can sort of see what's going on. You're not prying, but you just do not want them going down that path. But also you, if it's only you that can approach them, whether you're male or female, you doing this inner work will really help you see through their lens with balanced wisdom, intelligence, intellect, being very poised and very authoritative with your words in this King of Swords energy, and also having this compassionate side. So it feels like there's no judgment here when you approach the situation like this. There's much softer, but again, loving enough to be stern side. So they feel like they've got a foundation here of that they can approach you and be truthful with you, and that you can be a part of them deciphering what is real and what's not real, what is good and what's bad for them, and to not be afraid of the sides of themselves. Maybe this would be the first time you've opened up a conversation like this with these people or this person. And it might be, you know, who knows, that you just hit on something when you just tap the right part of spirit within a person, when you just sort of tap it and get that right. I don't know how you get, but syrup, you tap it out of a tree, don't you? I can imagine, I can see people tapping and just, I don't know if this is how it works, but all of a sudden getting a real good run of syrup coming out. I really don't know if that's how it works, but that's what I'm being shown. You know, when you just tap that, it's like everything just flows and you're like, oh, wow. It's you'll intuitively be able to tap that right place. And I feel that either this person's going to dissolve in a heap of tears and tell you everything that they've been thinking about doing, or everything that they're stuck with and therefore thinking about going ahead with, or, you know, you're just going to be able to give them something to go away with, where they feel like there's somewhere in the world that is safe for them, they're not alone and they're not forced into making decisions that will take them down the wrong road. They've got you in this balanced state, or both of you in this balanced state, that they can then go back to. Really powerful, really beautiful. We have the balance of this is beautiful, actually, because where you've got the intellect and the wisdom and the authority, this balances out this Queen of Cups energy that, you know, wants to swim in the cosmos, and has intuitive dreams and is very psychic and very much in flow and compassionate. We also have the Queen of Cups, bolstering and balancing out this very refined, quite set back from other people nature of the King of Swords. They both work together and balance each other out beautifully in very different ways. But again, it's balance. It's that middle path that gets you forward. Dun, 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 Hermit card. So this speaks of being able to do the Hermit, do the Hermit. And that speaks of being able to look back to that emotional past and look back at it truthfully, without judgment of self, even without judgment of others, just being able to be there, observe, transmute the energies, take the lessons forward, and release yourself from what is holding you back, what is stopping you from having this abundance, what's stopping you from having this balance, what's stopping you from having and using your intuition to gain the middle ground. The Eight of Wands clarifies the Hermit card. So this has come up a few times, and this speaks to, the pressure that we've been indoctrinated to feel of linear time and endings, always endings, end of the month, end of this, end of that, end of Christmas, end of the beginning and end. And it's not beginning and end in a positive way, in a huge capacity. It's this always this feeling of impending ending, and this, so that would come with doom maybe, and so this speaks of the infinite nature of self, and you truly do connect with this when you're able to embody the warrior heart of the hermit and be totally comfortable with your dark inner self. Now, if you look the way I'm holding this here, the hermit is holding up his lantern to the dark of the Eight of Wands here, to this dark space. And the Eight of Wands being messages, particularly in spirit, coming through thick and fast, and it's under moonlight too. This really is that for those that resonate with this, and even for those that just resonate with this part of the reading, right now there are the veil is so thin to spirit, to your higher self, to the availability, where for some, the contrast, again, duality, they are so much more closed off. They are in this absolute delusion, illusion. They are far more cut off even from their higher self than they were 3 years ago. But then dualistically, on the other side, the veil is so thin when you're able to go within into your inner cosmos and truly connect with your higher self within this physical manifestation of this reality. These arrows shoot through thick and fast. There is a myriad of messages that a lot of you are dying to say to you right now, and need to say to you right now. As well as that, there are a lot of you that are connected enough where you can pick up on messages from particularly loved ones that have transitioned from this physical reality, where these messages are coming in thick and fast, which help you make sense of your past, of what needs to be healed, what needs to be really coveted and held on to and remembered, and what needs to be let go of. There's a huge amount of messages, and the Hermit card holding the lantern up to these, for you to be able to receive these, to be in the space of the Hermit, means that you are in this darkness, in these dark corners, where these messages can come through, and come through even your DNA line from ancestors past before you, and even expanding from that for those of you that are expanded enough in that field that that you can receive messages even outside of that. And so there's huge amounts of energy here. So where it might feel like a little bit of a sticky ground here, Again, it's always about the balance. The key is balance, divine feminine, divine masculine. This could encapsulate a lot of couples helping others balance out, especially with that 3 of Wands. There's the 2 of you, and then there's this younger wand here. It's tripping. What else is in that card? I'm sure that looks like a crown, and even if it isn't a crown, it looks like a crown to me today. So this person just wants to make people proud. In this 3 of Wands, this person just wants to make something of themselves, and it's such a difficult energy, especially for younger people right now, that not just especially for younger people, but they're on my heart heavily in that they want to do all of the attainments that they are still within the lifespan of, that they've been conditioned that they must in order to be a success at life. Yet all of the systems, the current events, all of the ways of having to do things to get on the ladder of adult life, or, you know, get back on the ladder of adult life if they've fallen off it within the young adult life, is gone. It's not there. So they really are, you know, torn between the illusion of that, you know, that's what's expected and that's all that we'll do, and that the illusion also that it's only because they are them that they can't attain this right now, these goals that they've been indoctrinated to think that are the success, and they're really tripping on this. And so this balance of divine masculine, divine feminine coming in, and just letting this person know, letting this kid know they don't need to make silly decisions. You wouldn't even understand why they would be contemplating it, but there's no need for that. That you are just glad that they're here, and everybody's going to get through this energy together and see the opportunities as they are. But everyone's going to have more opportunity if they're in a supportive place, with others supporting them. This person that I can really feel heavy on my heart and that I'm speaking about has got gifts. I don't know if it's a singing gift maybe, or just a gift for choosing the right song for the right moment. Whether it's like a dancing or something artistic, something real creative, you know, they've got gifts. And they know they have, but at the same time, that self-delusion, that illusion, telling themselves they're a piece of shit, and they're not. Of course they're not. So that's the reading for today. If that resonates with you, especially regarding this young man picking up, you know, don't be afraid to just go all cards on the table. If they're open to it, let them see this. If it's for them, or if they're not too closed off, I'll tap in the right place. If not, you know, explain to them what it means to go within. Do some breathing exercises with them, let them relax. And it might be something that you've never done. It might be a relationship that you didn't feel you could have with this person, that they just weren't into it. But everybody, if you catch them soon enough, is into self enough that given the right tools, given the right chances, they can really transition into this knowledge, even when it looked like they weren't connected to it at all. So that's the reading for the 4th of March 2021. Sit up, Jenny. Keep creaking my back, so crouch over. If you would like a personal reading with me, any energy work or any spiritual coaching, you can get me at truedivinemedia@gmail.com, or you can get me at truedivine44, the True Divine, for both Instagram and Twitter. I appreciate and love you all. Much love, and I'll see you all real soon. Mwah.